Okay, we are live. What is good? What is good, everybody? See Slim Spartan God. What is good? Um, yeah, black man for sure. Last time I checked. Um, yeah, see Slim. Actually, because I work first shift and I usually have to be at work at 6 in the morning, sometimes 5. So it's just natural that I get up on the weekends at this hour anyway. So okay, there we go. So no, it's like it's normal that I'm up at this hour. It's just that I don't always do a stream at this hour. So, but I had a couple of things on my mind since yesterday. Wanted to talk about it, and this could be the first of possibly 2 podcasts. I still hope to do live from Wakanda later on. Cyber Dragon, what's up? Because all the stuff that I want to talk about, and there's been a little bit of news this week, and I don't want to try to cram it all into this one video. Because there's outside of what I want to talk about in this particular podcast, there's still a couple of things that I want to talk about. Like Boneworks going to the Oculus store. It may not sound like a big deal, but I think that has implications on what could happen to the VR industry once the PS5 comes into the fold. What else did I wanted to talk about? About the coronavirus and what that would mean to me if the next gen consoles end up getting delayed because of the coronavirus. I want to talk about how I feel about that. And I didn't want to try to cram it all into one video. There's also a few other things to talk about. Craig, what is good, my guy? How you doing? There's a few other things that I wanted to talk about. Am I talking about Mass Effect? Craig, every time I come into your chat or you come in mine and we talk about Mass Effect, I cannot help but to wonder how that game would be in VR. Because you want to know the truth. There are some games out there that may not have been that good, but they can get a second life in VR. Because some people are so VR centric that they may overlook a game that may not have been that good on flat screen and may see it differently once they put a headset on. So, if Mass Effect, were to pop up in VR, I would definitely play it. And the fact of the matter is, that's a really good idea. Yeah, Mass Effect. And here's the thing about it, Spartan guy. If now that EA is starting to let some of their games get released on Steam, I don't know if you still have to use like an EA launcher to play these games or not, but I'm willing to bet that that I wouldn't be surprised if these games come to Steam. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody eventually does a VR mod on Mass Effect. Because that's starting to happen more. We know, you guys, I'm sure by now know about the Grand Theft Auto mod that's out there. I think the Alien Isolation mod, and the guy that did the Alien Isolation mod is working on a Halo Reach mod. And then the guy that did the Grand Theft Auto mod made some improvements to it. So So don't be surprised. If Mass Effect was to get on Steam, don't be surprised if somebody gets hold of it and adds a VR mod to it. Because EA's, finally started seeing the bigger picture in terms of casting their net out as far as possible. Because they try to force everybody to go through this origin through their own sites and shit like that. But Steam is huge as far as I'm concerned. So I think If you're trying to make everybody come exclusively to you, then be prepared for whatever happens. But if you want to cast your net out as far as possible in the PC landscape, you definitely have to consider Steam. So getting into these subjects. Once again, here I have a picture of the gun stock that I ordered from Goquestvr. That's the link that I put in the chat when I first started this podcast. I will put this link in the chat a couple of more times throughout this podcast, and at the conclusion of this podcast, I will put the link in the description for those of you that have a VR headset such as a Rift or Quest and want to get hold of one of these gun stocks, because it makes a huge difference. So I tried this gun stock a couple of days ago, and my first impression of the gun stock was that I thought it was a little bit awkward. I thought it was a little bit cumbersome, and I found it only to be useful with guns that had scopes on them, because you'll be able to steady them. So give me a second, people. Had to go get the had to go grab exhibits A, B, and C. So as I said before, with the gun stock, I found it to be a little bit cumbersome and a little bit awkward, and I found like the only time that I felt like the gun stock was helpful is using guns with scopes. I found it using the stock with automatic weapons. At first, I originally felt like it didn't make much of a difference, because when you go to shoot automatic weapons, the recoil will automatically make the gun rise, so you have to shoot in short bursts to keep it steady. Now, scoped rifles are a totally different animal, because when you play games like Pavlov, Onward, Contractors, and stuff, you don't have an aim controller like you do on PSVR. You have to hold it in this imaginary position, as I was talking about before. You have to hold it in that position right there. And when you try to do this with a scope rifle, it's easy for your hands to start moving around, and it's hard to steady the gun. So this gun stock for scope rifles is huge. I was able to get a few headshots off. So my original conclusion was that I found it to be useful for scope rifles, but now I find it useful for all weapons. So, but in the beginning, my original thought was it's okay, it's good for certain weapons, but I'm going to give this gun stock to my son, and that was going to be that. But now after trying it again and finding it to be useful on just about all rifles, I'm still going to give it to my son, but I'm going to order another one. And so, you also kind of got to be quick, because now, here's the gun stock right here. I got my earbud wires overlapping it, but here's the gun stock right here. And I put some tape inside the cup, to help it hold the controllers. But so with games like Pavlov and Contractors, Onward, one of the things that make those games really interactive, in my opinion, gives an advantage over games like Firewall, is that once you run out of bullets and you need to add another clip, this controller acts as your right hand, this controller acts as your left hand. So you're in this position, you run out of bullets, and you release this grip button right here, so you can take your hands off the gun, and then or in my case with the left hand, release it, reach down here to pull a clip out of your belt, and then you pop it, you pop the clip in the gun, turn the gun sideways, pull the slide, and then you like this. So the situation with the gun stock is, so as you can see right here, I got the controllers inside the cups. And that allows me to, you know, hold it like this, which I think is pretty cool. So that allows me to hold it like this. So here's where the awkward part comes in. Okay, so you run out of bullets. Now you got to take this controller out of the cup. Now it acts as your hand. Reach down, pull the clip out, pop it into the bottom right there, turn it to the side, pull the slide, and then you put the controller back into the cup, and you squeeze the grip button right there on the side, and then that mimics your hand holding the bottom of the gun inside virtual reality. So that sounds like a lot of work. So at first I wasn't keen with it, but then I got used to it, and now I love it. The only thing is, like, you have to be more strategic with this gun stock, because after you shoot and you run out of bullets and you got to pull this out of here to reload and all that stuff, you better be ducked and covered, because if you do this out in the open, you will be dead in seconds. You know, and over on Pavlov, those dudes they are pretty good. Those PC dudes. So I will say that I've been enjoying this a little bit more on the Quest, even, you know, despite the downgraded graphics of the Quest. I've been enjoying playing Pavlov on the Quest a little bit more, because, you know, you could make a case that maybe I suck at Pavlov, but over on the Quest version of Pavlov, the competition isn't as stiff. You know, those guys aren't as good as the PC people, and they don't team kill as much, because that is one of the unfortunate parts about Pavlov on PC, is that some people will, you know, team kill. You know, they're absolute jerks, and you can't kick them out. You have to vote to kick them out. You know, you have to highlight their name and then start a vote to get them kicked out. And if they get enough votes, then he'll get removed. If not, you either you leave or you have to deal with it. So, and as always, got my trusty Quest by my side. So I can't wait for my son to come over today and try out that gun stock. I think he's going to absolutely love it. He's been playing a lot of VR chat. You know, he still plays Pavlov from time to time, and he has been wanting a gun stock for a while, you know, because he did make mention to me about the Pro Tube, which the Pro Tube is pretty damn expensive. And this gun stock wasn't an inexpensive alternative. It was 38 bucks. So while I'm at it, let me take a quick second to put the link in the chat. They've got several other things there too. There's the link again for anyone who's interested. The gun stock is $38. It is a $20 international shipping charge that goes along with that. They also have several other items too. They have a link cable, which I did buy the Oculus Quest link cable. It was 28 bucks, 16 feet long, with an elbow design at the front, and that was well worth the 28 bucks, because that ultimately turns your Oculus Quest into a Oculus Rift. So it's like having two headsets in one. The best way to explain this Oculus link cable is it is basically the difference in what turns your Oculus Quest into like a Nintendo Switch, between docked and being portable. So that link cable is 28 bucks. They also got a Halo strap like the Rift S. So if you don't like this strap that's on the Oculus Quest, you can get a Halo strap from Goquestvr. Gamertag has one, and he finds it to be very comfortable. I think at some point I will get one of those. So again, shout out to Gamertag, because he's the one that put me onto this. You know, I saw his video The link was in the description. So my apologies for one of my previous streams where I did not have this link in the description. It's something I should have been doing right from the get-go. So I'll probably put this link in the chat, one or two more times. And then at the conclusion of this stream, once again, I will put the link in the description at the conclusion of this podcast. So, but that pro stock, I've fallen in love with it. So the unfortunate part is that when my son goes home tomorrow and I let him take that pro stock with him, I'll probably be without a pro stock, another gun stock for like possibly another 2 weeks. So, but definitely a thumbs up. Like I said, it took some getting used to, but yeah, I'm slowly falling in love with this gun stock. I absolutely love it. So, moving on to the next subject, and that is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. If you look in the upper left corner, you see that I have the trailer for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners playing in a loop. This game is currently out on PC through Steam. You can also get it through the Oculus Store, and so currently it's on, it's currently available on PC headsets like the Rift, Valve Index, that sort of stuff. This game is supposed to be coming to PlayStation VR soon. I don't know when. I think in one of the forums or something like that, somebody said it might be coming in a month, next month, something like that. I'm not sure. Cold Yogurt, what is up? And this game is also supposed to be coming to the Quest. And I think right now, as far as like zombie shooters go, because I don't consider Resident Evil a zombie shooter, so I think that's something totally different. But as far as zombie shooters goes, I think before this game came along, Arizona Sunshine was probably the king of the zombie shooters. But this game is, I think this game is definitely going to, if it hasn't already, I think this might be the new king of the zombie shooters right here. The graphics are pretty good, and the big thing that everybody's absolutely loving about this game is the physics. And case in point with Arizona Sunshine, when the zombies attack you and start swinging at you, you can't physically fight them off. All you can do is pull out a gun and shoot them. Whereas with The Walking Dead, if a zombie gets close enough to you, you can grab them by the head, and from there you can decide whether to shoot them in the face, stab them in the head with a knife, hack them in the neck with an axe. It's up to you once you grab them across the head. So people are enjoying the physics of that game. Now there's supposed to be another Walking Dead on the way, Walking Dead Onslaught coming from Survios. This is the same developer that brought you Creed, Battle Wake, and Raw Data. So they're coming out with their version of Walking Dead. After playing this one and after closely looking over both trailers, for this as well as Walking Dead Onslaught, I think Saints and Sinners is going to be the better game. But I think Onslaught might have a little bit of an advantage due to it being, co-op. DJ, what's up? But I will say, I would like to think the Skydance Interactive, they maybe they'll come out with a patch somewhere down the road, and maybe do a zombie horde mode, co-op. Maybe they would do something like that. But at this point, being that this game is already done, I don't know if they can integrate, co-op into a campaign if it wasn't already done from the start, ground up. I can't wait to try Saints and Sinners. We need a PSVR release date. Yeah. It's a great game, and I've said this before that I was definitely curious about this game. But it wasn't a game that I think it was a game that I was going to chip away at, and it was going to take me a while to finish it, so I didn't want to pay the $40. I think it is worth the $40. I just didn't want to pay the $40 because it was a game that I was going to be playing, and that I was going to kind of drip feed myself playing this game. But it's a pretty good game, and as of right now, I think this is the new king of zombie shooters. Whether they can maintain that crown or not, we'll see what happens when The Walking Dead Onslaught comes out. I know they continue to support Arizona Sunshine and adding content, and which is cool. But I definitely like the physics of this game. I definitely like the pretty good graphics. Graphics pretty good on this game. So I'm definitely... we told you so. Hey, now don't get me wrong. I'm going to be playing this game. But when Half-Life Alyx comes out next month, everything stops. You know, it's like the VR world is going to stop. But sticking with this game... as far as this game coming to the Quest, what I really wanted to talk about is the impact that I think this game is going to have on the Oculus Quest, because everybody knows that the Oculus Quest is taking off. The Oculus Quest is still a sought-after item. Jamal Adams, what is up? You know, the Oculus Quest is hot. A lot of people want the Oculus Quest. They're having a problem keeping up with demand, and then the coronavirus isn't helping either. But based on what I'm seeing in these Facebook groups that I'm part of, the impact that the Oculus Quest is having within these groups is amazing. And there are more people getting involved with the Oculus Quest that I somewhat didn't see it coming. Because, you know, the phenomenon that's going on right now with the Oculus Quest in those groups is the demographic that I'm seeing is latching on to the Quest that kind of surprised me. But somewhat not surprising is older women. I'm talking women my age, you know, in the late 40s, early 50s. I'm starting to see a lot of women in these groups that have latched on to the Oculus Quest. And that says I'm surprised, but at the same time, you know, it's not surprising why they latched on to the Quest, mainly because of Beat Saber. And I can't say it enough times that games like Beat Saber allow you to get a good workout in and have fun doing it. And then when you play Beat Sabers with your favorite songs, you could easily find yourself playing the game for an hour and not realize that you've been playing it for an hour. So that, you know, that part of it doesn't surprise me. But, you know, there's also a lot of men my age that was never really into video games before that's starting to get on board with the Quest. Star Wars fans are getting on board with the Quest because of Vader Immortal. So the Quest is definitely having an impact. And I think when Saints and Sinners hits the Quest, I think it's going to be a big hit, because right out of the gate, you're talking about a game that's based on a popular TV show. You know, I've never watched The Walking Dead, but but I'm not living under a rock either. I know that The Walking Dead is a hugely popular show and has been popular for years. And I think just for the simple fact that this game has the name The Walking Dead attached to it, a lot of people are going to be curious about it. And then when they see the physics of this game on the Quest, I think we're going to be witnessing another phenomena. I think we're going to be witnessing a lot of videos of people talking about how much fun this game is on the Quest. I mean, as it stands already, I'm already seeing streams and videos of people talking about how they had a really stressful day, and Saints and Sinners allows them to come home and relieve some of that stress by stabbing a zombie in the head or chopping their head off with an axe. So I think huge fans of the Walking Dead series that haven't played video games, I think this might be a little bit of a system seller. I think this game is going to sell a few Quest headsets, and I think the game is going to be well received. Oh, you said what happened to the Saints and Sinners stream? Bottom line is, I think my PC just couldn't handle it because I had 4 apps open. You know, I had the Oculus app open because you gotta have the Oculus app open anytime you want to use the headset. Since I bought Saints and Sinners off of Steam, I had to open the Steam app in order to run the game. You know, the Steam app, and then because I was streaming it, I had OBS open, so now we're up to 3 apps, and then I used the web browser because I finally figured out how to pop the chat out and hang it in the air above me, so I don't have to keep taking my headset off to check the chat. All I gotta do is just look up and see the chat. So So because of that, I had the Microsoft Edge application open. So I had 4 apps open while I'm trying to do that stream, and my PC simply could not handle it. After doing some research, I've come to find out that when you want to try to stream and game from the same PC, you need at least an i7, because I believe that's an 8-core CPU. I don't know how many cores my CPU has. I've never really paid attention to that kind of stuff. All I can tell you about my CPU is that it is an i5, I believe 9400. And so simply put, I think that's what killed off. I think that's what made my Alienware take a dump when it was in the shop, a couple of months ago. Because I think months of me streaming and gaming from the same PC killed the CPU, not the GPU, the graphics card. So the graphics card had to be replaced. And that's one of the reasons why you guys have not seen me do a lot of streams from the PC, because I don't want to kill the PC again. But today I will definitely make an exception, because when my son comes over and tries this gun stock, if he likes it, I'm going to let him go ahead and stream Pavlov, and I'll put the webcam on him so you guys can see how the gun stock will work. So, but that's what happened to the Saints and Sinners stream. But I will say that, when I was in the menu screen and I was looking around, it had a little bit of a fishbowl effect. So I was under the impression that that's the way the Quest link was going to look. I was under the impression that when I put the headset on and hooked the link up to it, that it was going to be like looking through a fishbowl. It wasn't. It was native VR. It didn't feel like it was any tricks involved. It's just the streaming aspect of it made it look like it was a fishbowl effect, but actually doing it was native VR, and it looked pretty damn good. And because of it, I definitely endorse that link cable. I definitely would approve of the link cable if anybody's thinking about buying it. $16, not 16, $28 for a 16-foot cord is well worth it. So. But there you go. That's what happened to the Saints and Sinners stream. It went out right in the middle of the loading screen. The screen went black because it was loading. That's just the way the game does, and that's where the stream disconnected. So OBS was attempting to reconnect the stream, but after about 3 or 4 minutes, it did not reconnect. So I just went ahead and ended the stream. At some point, maybe a game that's maybe a little less demanding, I'll come back and try another game stream using the Quest link. So, but coming back to Saints and Sinners on the Quest, again, I think the game is going to have a huge impact, because I know there's a lot of people that like The Walking Dead. And I think Sons of Anarchy, I think, was another popular TV series. It's like a few years ago, that seemed like the only shows that I heard people talking about was The Walking Dead and Sons of Anarchy. They seem to be the most popular TV shows out there. And I know that The Walking Dead is still pretty popular. You said, same, man. I was looking forward to seeing you play. I'll do it again. I'll definitely do it again, do another, with a Quest link. And, Cyber Dragon just subbed the DJ. Pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll do another stream with the Quest link, because I want you guys to, see it from somebody that has no reason to lie, somebody that's not getting paid for any of this stuff, and get my honest opinion of it. So... oh, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I think Saints and Sinners is going to have a huge impact on the Quest. I think it's going to bring in a new wave of people that's going to be adopting the Oculus Quest. I think we're going to see another phenomenon when Pavlov, Onward, Contractors, those type of games. When those hit the Oculus Quest, I think we're going to see another phenomenon in terms of VR adopters, because the current state of VR right now, for those who absolutely love first-person shooters and want to take it to the next level and experience it in VR. So let's take the Quest out of the fold, because technically the only first-person shooter that's available on the Quest through the store is Dead and Buried, which is a Western first-person shooter. And we know here in the States, most people that like first-person shooters like the military first-person shooters. So let's take the Quest out of the fold. So if you're a person that plays Call of Duty on console or on PC and you want to experience it in VR, here's your options. You can play Firewall on PSVR, which would require you to have a PlayStation. In order to get the best experience out of it, you would need the aim controllers, as well as the PSVR headset. So when you break all that down, you at the current prices right now, to experience Firewall on PlayStation VR, you would need to spend at least $300 for the PS4 Slim, $400 for the Pro. So we'll just stick with the cheapest, with the cheapest denominators. So $300 for the PS4 Slim. If you were to buy a PSVR headset brand new without the Move controllers, you're looking at $300 for that. So now you're up to $600, and then you would need the aim controller for the best experience. It's not mandatory, but it makes it more immersive. And the aim controller by itself, I believe, is $60. And so you're looking at you would be looking at $660 to be able to experience, for the most part, in my mind, one first-person shooter on the PlayStation VR format. Now you go over to the PC side of it, and there's a ton of first-person shooter games over there. But here is what would be required of you. You would need a PC this VR capable, and in my opinion, I think you would have to spend a minimum of $700 in order to get a PC that's capable of running VR. After that, you would need a headset, and I think your cheapest option for a good quality headset would be the Oculus Rift S. So that's $400 for that headset. Now you're up to $1,100. And I'm talking about trying to appeal to the casuals, the people that still playing these first-person shooters on consoles. So I'm trying to appeal to them. $660 to experience a first-person shooter on the PlayStation VR. $1,100 to experience it on PC. So when these games come to the Quest, $400 for the headset, and that's it. No PC required, no PlayStation required. If you want to get it, and I would be led to believe that once these games officially hit the Quest store and people get super, super deep into these games and they want to expand their experience, that's when you're going to start seeing people buying more of these once they learn that this is out there. So I know that there are people that want to experience first-person shooters in VR but don't want to spend a ton of money that it would cost to get it, to experience it on PC or even the PlayStation. So I think we're going to see another phenomenon when Pavlov, Onward, and Contractors hits the Quest store. I think we're going to see another phenomenon. I think these games are going to be system sellers. First-person shooters are huge in America, and I think the word is spreading about VR, about how immersive it is. I see posts every day of people who just bought a Quest. I see these posts every day. So I think it's just going to continue to grow once these first-person shooters games hits the Quest, and that's the effect that I think is going to have on the Quest. Now, The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners on the PlayStation VR. I'm curious to see how they're going to work it out with the controls. I would like to think they're probably going to allow you to use the DualShock 4 controller. But if they also support the Move controllers, it'll be interesting to see how it works. I think this particular game, I don't know. I think it would be more immersive with the Move controllers. But then there's the thumbstick aspect. How are you going to move, you know? So I think it'll be easier to navigate with the DualShock 4, but I think it'll be a little more immersive with the Move controllers. But regardless of whatever method people will choose to play this game, I do think Saints and Sinners is going to have a huge impact on PlayStation VR. I don't know if it'll have the impact of Resident Evil, because I think Resident Evil still remains the number one horror game on PlayStation VR. You know, Beat Saber is the number one VR game period on PlayStation VR, but I think Resident Evil is the number one horror game on PlayStation VR, and I don't know if it'll knock Resident Evil off the stool, but I think Saints and Sinners could knock Arizona Sunshine off the stool once it reaches PlayStation VR. So we'll have to see how that plays out. What do we got here? Looks like Gamertag's working overtime. Streaming some things here. See here, it says he's streaming Boneworks, but another one says he's streaming Down the Rabbit Hole. So, yeah, and that was something else that if I end up doing live from Wakanda today, I definitely want to talk about Boneworks coming to the Oculus store and the effect that I think is going to have on the VR industry as a whole, because I think that's a good thing that Boneworks made it to the Oculus store. I was under the impression that Boneworks was going to be a Steam exclusive, but it's not. And it's $10 cheaper. I think Boneworks started out at $40 on Steam, but now that it's on the Oculus store, I think it's $30, which was a little bit surprising, but at the same time is not surprising, because now that the Saints and Sinners is out there, right now it's the most talked about VR game out there at the moment, because it's got all the physics of Boneworks with good graphics, based on a popular TV show with pretty good graphics. So honestly speaking, it's a good thing that Boneworks got out there when it did, because I think if Boneworks would have came out after Saints and Sinners, I'm not so sure how well the game would have done. You know, I think it did pretty good for the month of December, whenever it was it released. I think back in December. But yeah, if it would have released now, I don't know. Boneworks might have had a steep hill to climb because of Saints and Sinners. So, but I think that's all I got. Again, I do want to do another podcast today. I do want to do live from Wakanda, because there was a few, things I think was worth talking about. And now that I got this thing out, talking about the gun stock and talking about the effect that I think that The Walking Dead is going to have on the Quest community when this game reaches the Quest. I think people are going to absolutely love the physics of this game based on a popular TV show, and I think it's going to be a system seller. I think there's going to be a few people, once word spreads about Saints and Sinners, I think there's going to be another wave of people that's going to be breaking their necks trying to get an Oculus Quest, which I think is a good thing for the growth of the industry as a whole. So I'm actually looking forward to Saints and Sinners coming to the Quest, because I want to see how the community reacts to it. I think it's going to be positive. I think it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. So with that being said, I think I'm going to get ready to boogie on out of here, because I got an itchy trigger finger. I'm ready to grab this gun stock and just blow a few tops off. So I'm definitely feeling like playing some Pavlov right now. In all likelihood, I'll play it on the Quest. It's quicker, it's more convenient, And I can actually get a few kills on the Quest version of Pavlov because the competition isn't as stiff. It's kind of tough getting some kills on the PC version of Pavlov. So at least for me, because I'm just not that good. My son, he can hold his own. So hey, thanks for popping in, DJ, Cold Yogurt, Cyber Dragon, Jamal Adams, Spartan, C Slim. I appreciate everybody popping in, and those who might be watching but not commenting. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. And like I said, keep an eye out. I guess if you include Live from Wakanda, as well as my son playing Pavlov, then I'm looking at doing a couple of more streams today. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to boogie on out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will holler at y'all later. Enjoy your Saturday morning. Deuces. Yeah, there you go, DJ. Don't forget to smash that like button. Appreciate it. We'll catch you all later.